What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvidia, the overall market, and many tickers out there. I'm going to break down what's going on with the charts as time progresses and we're approaching some key supports, but you should be watching for as time goes on. But just notes that I am not a financial planner. Take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, as far as SPY goes, we're trying to hold above our 20 EMA quite well thus far, and we're just range bound for the time being. So the question is, what's going to happen from here? I'll talk more about that in just a minute. We saw the Dow try to hit a new record before starting to slow down, and then the S&P 500 came short of that before getting pulled down by tech. That's what's going on so far within the markets. I just wanted to mention that for today, all the data is out, but for tomorrow, okay, there's not really much data coming out. It's all very, very minor. The more significant, data comes out at 10 o'clock a.m. and 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's going to be after the market ends up opening. So we don't have to worry about some kind of PCE report, some CPI report before market open. Don't worry about anything like that tomorrow. The market is going to open normally, and then there's going to be more data coming out after open. So that's what's happening for tomorrow. So with that being said, what do I see for the charts and such? The answer is we're just range bound again. So to be bearish on SPY, we need to lose 556. SPY has not done that yet. We're still holding above that support. We've been holding above this for over a week. And then to be bullish, you want to see us break past the all-time high. If we break that, yes, we could be squeezing even higher. We're not doing either of that yet. We're just stuck in the middle, going back and forth and back and forth. It's been like this for the past week. Now, currently, SPY is just shuffling in the 560 area, and we're getting very low volume. So I think it's just going to continue to do so as time goes on. But one thing worth mentioning is that we have this key level at our 20 EMA, the green line right here. So it is possible tomorrow that SPY could dip towards this before it tries to rebound, because the last time we did touch this, we got a nice rebound. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. That's something I'm kind of like leaning towards, unless we end up losing it. So we'll see. But in my personal opinion, maybe SPY shuffles a bit. It could dip a little bit more before it tries to rebound. Maybe it gets a touch of this 20 EMA, and we'll see what kind of reaction we get from there. That's what I'm kind of like leaning towards. But otherwise, we're still kind of range bound. If we look at Nvidia, it's the same thing essentially. We had 130 only to reject, and this happened three times. We've been stuck between the 122s and 130 for the past week. We rejected, came back up, rejected, came back up, rejected, came back, and we're going to try to come back a little bit more, possibly if we do hold above 126.5, only to come back down and continue to shuffle. So I think we're just range bound completely on Nvidia. That's all I'm seeing for the time being. We need to lose 122 to turn bearish. That's going to be our 50 EMA. And we have to break past this resistance right here to turn bullish. We have not done either, so we just have to be very patient for the time being. For ES, we're range bound, going back and forth and back and forth. We rejected off 5680, and our support's at 5600 flats. We're just going back and forth, just like SPY. If we lose this low right here, that's when we could turn bearish. We're still stuck within the range, so we're just range bound as well. For Bitcoin, okay, Bitcoin is dipping after forming a double top. We have support currently at 63,400. If we lose that, there's going to be a dip coming all the way down to about 62,500. And we have this resistance all the way right back up here. So I think that there's a risk of Bitcoin dipping if we lose that 20 EMA. Haven't done so yet. We're just shuffling. So we'll see. But it is looking a little bit more bearish than bullish to me. For Tesla, it's not looking that great, considering that we have kind of like an inverse cup and handle like structure. I do want to mention to everyone that it's very simple, really. Tesla has resistance around 215. That's going to be our key resistance. Our support's at 212. If we were to lose that, you're going to be looking at this low right here, this 210 area. If we lose this on Tesla, then this could turn into a bearish structure, and that would open the doors for 208 and then 202 for a big drop. So I think the main level is 210. If we lose that on Tesla, we're going to turn more bearish. If we hold that, we could technically still just remain range bound. So be careful on Tesla right here at this support. We'll be watching to see if that support holds. But for now, with this inverse cup and handle, there is a risk of downside on Tesla, especially because we're making lower highs and we got 3 big rejections. So generally that does lead to more downside later on. So the odds do favor downside for Tesla. We just can't confirm that unless we lose key support. On NQ, it's the same thing as the QQQ. We have kind of like a head and shoulders like structure, but these could be traps, so you can't always just solely depend on these. I would say the 4-hour 200 EMA is our main support. If we were to lose, I think that this is trending kind of upwards. So by tomorrow, this may be closer to about 19,450 to 19,500, around that range. If we lose our 200 EMA, this red line right here, 19,400 at the very least, maybe a little bit above that by tomorrow. If that does break, then we're going to be dipping easily to the low 19,000s. And that's going to cause this head and shoulders to play out. If we don't, we're going to be looking at 19,590 and 19,726 as our resistances. With the head and shoulders, I do see a risk of this dipping lower, but we haven't lost key support yet. Same thing with the QQQ. We have a head and shoulders. Yes, it may make a lot of people super bearish. It's possible it plays out, but we need confirmation first. Where's your confirmation this is breaking down? Let me show you what I'm talking about. So far, we have key support at 473. If we were to lose that, I think there's going to be a bigger risk of this starting to dip lower into at least, I would say, the lower 470s, if not down to about the 460s. If we were to lose 473, if we don't lose it and we end up breaking back above 478, we could turn back up. There's a head and shoulders that suggests downside is imminent, but there's no confirmation of a break yet. So we just have to give it some time. For Aapl, we're just range bound between 223.8 and 228. We're just trading sideways. We could retest 227 and come back down. I just see sideways price action, not really much. We have to break 228 to turn bullish and lose 223.5 at least to turn bearish. We're just stuck in the middle. For the IWM, we pushed up to about 222, only to come back down. We're just shuffling at 220. If we lose that, we dip lower. If we hold this, we could rebound. It is looking a little bit weaker to me, but we haven't lost 220 yet to turn really bearish. And we're building some strength because we're holding up better than the market. So it's not looking too bad. Coin is kind of rejecting here. We're going to be looking at 203 as supports. We're barely holding this. I did call out 203 in my morning video. We're still stuck here. We'll see if this bounces or not off this support. If we lose that, we're going to be dipping to the lower 200s. If we hold this, we could rebound. So for us, looking a little bit more bearish to me. Amazon's looking more bearish because we're barely holding 175. We got to reclaim 176.8 at the very least to turn back up. If we don't hold above 175, we could be dipping to this imbalance towards 172. So there's going to be a risk of downside there. For Meta, we have a bearish divergence developing. We have 522 as resistance. If we don't hold, we could be looking for a dip all the way down to about 515. And if that fails us, we'll be dipping lower towards 508. So I do see a risk of downside off the double top bearish divergence. Microsoft has some weakness. We touched the EMAs. I called out 418 and possibly a rejection in my morning video. Lo and behold, we hit 417, then rejected very close to my target. And with this bearish divergence, you want to reclaim basically 418 to turn back up. If we don't do so, we're going to continue to dip. And we're actually pretty well below that. So we're favoring a move down towards 410 and 408 around there. And last but not least, we have Google, which is actually outperforming a lot of the tech stocks right now. So tech is what's slowing the market down, but Google is doing a good job at holding up. I know it's kind of flat, it's kind of choppy, but it's fighting for 168. If we break that, we're looking for 170. And if we lose that, you'd be looking for 166. Breaking that turns us bearish. We're stuck in the middle, but we are showing some strength trying to hold above this resistance right over here. So we have this nice looking flag that's forming. This could be a sign that we want to build strength and start pushing higher, but we got to at least try to break 168 or even close above that. That's going to be a sign of strength. So Google is showing some strength and some life in my personal opinion compared to the overall market. So that being said, that's it for your guys' update. I'll be back in a couple of hours for one more update of the day where I'll break down everything I typically go over. And until then, have a great day, guys. I'll see you guys very soon in the next one, and peace out.